want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials that I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. Heat transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he just really was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings for Utang-Sioux and for Zollner that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at SuperValue Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think, really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
It is Kids Day as we welcome you into the Schaefer Center, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the start of the new women's basketball season for 2025-2026. And head coach Jessie Biggs now in her 14th season at the helm for Indiana Tech, and they'll open up the season today with Kids Day at this 11 a.m. tip-off, taking on Miami Hamilton. The Harriers out of the USCAA climbing up in division to play an NAIA opponent here today. And we'll see what's in store for both these teams in 2025-26. Well, this Indiana Tech women's basketball roster looks just a little bit different coming into this season, but the mainstay from last year that, of course, you've got to keep your eye on, the senior Taylor Covington out of Dublin, Ohio. Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Player of the Year last season, and a second-team All-American as well was Covington a year ago for Indiana Tech. We'll see some new faces on the floor, including some transfers in for the Warriors. Ryan Moorer, who played at Concordia, Madison Weiss, who was at Siena Heights, both coming to play for this Tech program this season. You got some new faces on the roster with freshmen coming in. You've got your redshirt freshmen who may not have seen a lot of time last year or didn't see any time at all. A little bit of a younger group for head coach Jesse Biggs, but this is still a team that expects to win a lot of games again this year after finishing 27-6 a year ago, going 19-1 during the regular season against the WAC, and then finishing up in the round of 16 in the national tournament last season, and falling to number 2 seed Freed Hardeman in the round of 16. But that was after winning another opening round tournament matchup, defeated St. Francis in the opener of the round of 64, and then beat Stillman to make it to the round of 16. And now Indiana Tech trying to make sure they get back to the Tyson Event Center, Sioux City, Iowa, try to make those final 16 teams once again and just try to get a step further in this 2025-26 campaign. On the other side for Miami Hamilton, the Harriers out of Hamilton, Ohio, and an extension of Miami University, which is located in Oxford normally. At least that's the main campus, so to speak, at the Division I level. This is a pretty new group for Miami Hamilton this year, and a first-year head coach in Danielle Rowe, with Deidre Browns-Banks, her assistant this season. 8 players on the roster for Miami Hamilton, and again, they compete in the USCAA, the Small College Athletic Association. And they'll come out 8 players in total on the roster this year. A couple of seniors mixed throughout, 4 seniors in total, so have some experience when it comes to playing Indiana Tech in this level of basketball. But we just kind of expect for this one to look more like a bit of an exhibition for Indiana Tech, and Miami of Hamilton trying to get their feet underneath them, those sort of things. Last year, this meeting was a 74-46 win for the Warriors over Miami Hamilton. Indiana Tech scoring 24 points in the first quarter, and that got things rolling. Couple of stayovers from last year's roster. Barry Nagua, a senior this year, played 33 minutes in last year's match against Indiana Tech at 5 points and 4 rebounds. Kirsten Cross also played in last year's matchup between these two teams, had just a point but also had 7 rebounds. Miami Hamilton for the game shot 28% from the field and 2 for 16 from three-point range. That's just under 13%. Taylor Covington had 24 points in last year's meeting between these two teams. She also had 10 rebounds, the double-double for Covington. All rebounds were defensive boards for her. And we saw the end of the roster get expanded a little bit as the game went on. Ava Zilkowski, as well as Gabby Ritchie, who we'll see today, Jenna McFarland, Maddie Mueller, all down the line, and expect to see a lot from Jaden Gully this season in her sophomore campaign for Indiana Tech. Just one of those players who had a lot of minutes on the floor last year. You can say the same thing for Taylor Covington after her freshman season. Played a ton, was expected to be a big player come her sophomore season, and then she was that big player her sophomore year and was even better her junior season. Indiana Tech is hoping that Jaden Gully is going to take that big step this year for the Warriors to become one of those focal points on the offensive and defensive end for the Warriors this season. So we'll see what Indiana Tech has in store to begin this 25-26 women's basketball campaign. Miami Hamilton, the Harriers, playing here today, and then we'll continue to roll through the rest of the schedule this season for Indiana Tech. Again, finishing at 27-6 a year ago, 19-1 against competition in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference during the regular season. They'll travel to Huntington to take on the Foresters at Platt Arena next Wednesday, and then November 11th, it is a home game against number 10 Indiana Wesleyan. Then they'll face number 8 St. Francis on November 15th as part of a doubleheader with men's basketball. A lot of high-quality competition to start the season for Indiana Tech. Huntington's receiving votes, and then you've got number 10 IWU, and number 8 St. Francis. As we get ready for the national anthem here inside of the Schaefer Center, live on the campus of Indiana Tech. It is Kids Day, and this 11 a.m. tip-off to start the season for head coach Jessie Biggs, now in her 14th year at the helm for the Warriors. And Indiana Tech has been the cream of the crop in the WAC for the last 10 years, really, in Coach Biggs' tenure, and they have been that dominant force in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, looking to continue their winning ways and trying to start things off today against Miami Hamilton. We'll step aside as we get ready for the national anthem. We'll take about a 3-minute pause here, come back with your starters and tip-off. 11 a.m. scheduled tip-off from the Schaefer Center here in Fort Wayne.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there are so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
We welcome you back to the Schaefer Center. It's time to meet the starting lineups for both teams. Let's start with the visitors on the scoreboard. The Harriers of Miami Hamilton. Kirsten Cross, the senior, at 6'1" in the starting lineup, along with Taj Pewitt, Nyjah Olabermo, Barry Nagua, and Mackenzie Shackelford. Shackelford, 5'7" freshman, gets the start in her first collegiate game for Miami Hamilton. Now the starters for the Indiana Tech Warriors. The transfer in, sophomore guard out of Warren, Michigan, number 0, Ryan Moorer. Also a transfer in, and in the starting lineup, a 5'6" junior from nearby Albion, Indiana, Central Noble High School graduate, Madison Weiss. The mainstay in the starting lineup from last year and the reigning WAC Player of the Year, figures to be the best player on the floor at a lot of times this season. Senior guard at 5'7" from Dublin, Ohio, number 3, Taylor Covington. A junior guard out of Illinois wearing number 11, Durbin Thomas, gets the start for Indiana Tech. And rounding out the lineup, we talked about her just a little bit at the end of our pregame show. Sophomore from Ashland, Kentucky, number 21, Jaden Goley. Head coach Jesse Biggs, 14th season at the helm here at Indiana Tech. Eileen Biggs, of course, joins her on the bench with Ed Dupre, Elia Dade, and Lauren Tate. It is 11 o'clock on Kids Day and the start of the new season for Indiana Tech. Warriors facing off against the Harriers to begin this new season. And we will get things started from the Schaefer Center. Goalie to tip it off with Cross, and the opening tilt is won by Indiana Tech. We are underway. 3 transfers in the starting lineup for the Warriors to begin this season, including Moorer, who gives to Covington just beyond the 15-foot mark. Jump shot, Taylor Covington is on the board. And expect to see that a lot this season for your Warriors. Pass couldn't be handled. Covington corrals it to the corner and feeds ahead. Thomas to goalie. Bounced it in for Moorer. Left it short. Loose ball tapped around, and Cross comes away with it. The Harriers made it into the national tournament in the USCAA last season, Division II at that level, and actually fell in the national championship game last year, while their men's program crowned champions at the Division II level in the USCAA. It's the Small College Athletic Association, for those of you that are unfamiliar. A lot of basketball in a lot of different places that you may just not know about. Some people don't know NAIA ball. We've come to love it in this area, of course, with so many great NAIA programs just within really a 90-mile radius of here in Fort Wayne. Nagua gave back to Shackelford. And the pass up high for Cross. Shot clock down to 5. Cross backing in against goalie. Good contest, and the shot's off the mark as Moorer grabs a defensive rebound. Ball worked around the arc. Open look for Covington, and she buries it. So Taylor Covington knocks down the triple. 16.5 points per game last season for Covington. She scored on average 12 points per game in her career, just under 10 points per game her freshman season, just under 11 points per game her sophomore year, and then up to 16.5 a contest last season. More than 1,200 career points coming in to this year. Kenya Benson in for the Harriers. And we've got an issue with the shot clock here. It's set to 30 in venue. They'll pull it down to 15. And a 7-0 start for Indiana Tech. Inbound for Moorer, and we'll give back to Covington. This is Madison Weiss. Seen her in this building a couple of times, just wearing an opposing uniform. Covington drive in, shot clock was trickling down and missed that runner. Nagua running down the floor, draws the contact and the foul. And Nyjah, or rather Barry Nagua, to the line for a pair of free throws. 5'9" senior. As Nagua's first free throw is off the mark. Lakota West High School graduate in Ohio. And she goes 1 for 2 on this trip to the charity stripe. Miami Hamilton on the board in this opening quarter of play. Reminder, in women's college basketball, it is 4 10-minute quarters instead of the 2 halves like we see in the men's game, as Covington gets to the rack, lays it off the window. And the high-pitched screams are coming from the kids on the far side of the floor, as you see. They've got some of those inflatable, I don't know, sound making really is all it's for. Bang them together and people go wild. They were handing them out as the kids came in today. This has become one of those traditions here at Indiana Tech to play a Tuesday or Wednesday game as the shot clock was winding down there, and we'll get a shot clock violation. To play a Tuesday, Wednesday, or even Thursday morning game. I believe last year the kids' game was against St. Francis. But they bring in the local elementary schools. Everybody gets a little bit of a break, get to watch basketball and spend some time away from school. Good for the teachers this time of year as well. Thomas, jumper rolls out, goalie offensive board, kicks out, Vice three-pointer. Just off the iron, goalie. She had that other offensive rebound, Thomas corrals it. Another opportunity, Moorer stripped free. And a whistle. Foul called on Olabamero. First team foul against Miami Hamilton. Covington steps back, long range triple. That's off the mark. Other side of the floor and right to the rim. The lay-in for Nagua. Covington, little runner, left it short. And now Miami Hamilton with a chance here in this opening quarter to bring it back within 4 or maybe even a single possession. Good bounce pass, and in the lane, open look, missed the lay-in. Putback does not go either for Taj Pewitt. Jacqueline Cruz in the game for the first time for Indiana Tech. Goalie, and work it around the arc. This is Cruz again in the pink sneakers. Corner pocket triple, and Thomas can't get it to go. Expect teams to come out a little bit slower. Try to find your rhythm shooting in game number 1. Foul comes at 5:02 in this opening quarter. Substitutions for Indiana Tech. Moorer and Thomas come out. Second team foul. Newly into the game, Spradlin, and she's whistled for the traveling violation, and this should take us to our first media timeout, although I'm not sure the officials are going to call for it here. We'll just keep playing. Wonder if it's a little bit different today when you're not playing straight up NAIA opponents, how they'll handle the media breaks. Cruz, baseline, wrapped a pass inside for Kiara Lovelace, who's in the game for the first time, and also in the game for the first time, coming away with a steal, Avery Collins. Lovelace, left-handed lay-in doesn't fall, and the loose ball rebound corralled by Nagua. Nagua into the paint, a lot of contact, plus the foul. Makes it 9-5 as Nagua makes the bucket and the foul, and already the third team foul against Indiana Tech in this opening quarter. That does take us to the media timeout. 4:24 to play. First quarter action and a chance to make this a one-possession game for the Harriers.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
4:24 to play in the opening quarter. Number 17, Indiana Tech taking on Miami Hamilton. The Harriers are at the free throw line. Nagua at the line with the and one free throw. And she connects. That'll bring Shackelford back in for Miami Hamilton, and after this game started at 9-1, it is a 5-0 run for Miami Hamilton at the moment. Covington dished back. And now we'll have a jump ball underneath off the miss. Possession favors the Harriers. Moorer comes in for goalie. Indiana Tech going to pick up some pressure defensively. Ola Bomero driving inside, trying to create the contact. That one went off the shot clock. It'll be out of bounds. Possession for the Warriors. Cruz, Covington, Collins, Moorer, and Weiss make up the five on the floor currently for Indiana Tech. Moorer slings it to the corner for Collins. Work this ball around the arc from right to left and now back left to right. Baseline drive, Cruz got blocked, but Collins is there to clean it up. Sophomore Avery Collins with a bucket. And back to a 5-point lead for Indiana Tech. Shackelford, backdoor look, and the lay-in goes for Spradlin. Not the way you want to start if you're Indiana Tech. And for Miami Hamilton, given everything they've got in this opening quarter, and that's one of the big keys when you're playing in a matchup like this, and you see it across any sport, any level. If you're the team that's in the quote-unquote smaller division or smaller conference, whatever you want it to be, can you stick around in the first 5 minutes and then the first 10 minutes? And then you look up at the scoreboard and say, hey, maybe we're in this game before halftime. And then you go to halftime, and if you're in the game, all of a sudden the pressure flips to the other side. And it's been a good patient approach from the Harriers thus far. Nagua into the lane, left it short, trying to go up against goalie and Covington. Thomas is back into this game with goalie. Here is goalie, and probably got away with a travel. Moorer inside, extra pass underneath, backside, goalie for two. Indiana Tech was up almost 20 points at the end of the first quarter last year in this game, as Miami Hamilton's going to take a timeout. First timeout for the Harriers comes with just over 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. It is a full timeout, so we'll take the break with them. Come back in 1 minute to the Schaefer Center.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
Just over 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Number 17, Indiana Tech, with a 15-8 lead over Miami Hamilton. Jared Matheny, SummitCitySports.com, live on Indiana Tech Athletics here on YouTube. Glad you're with us. Matt Jackson running our camera on this Wednesday morning. And immediately we get the 10-second violation with the shot clock. Apologize, our score bug just got lost there. But the shot clock was down to 22, and coming out of that timeout does not reset, so get the 10-set expiration. Baseline pass from goalie. They'll work it back out up top. Covington drives inside, late pass looking for Moorer, and turned over. Another whistle on the other side of the floor and a turnover. Working through some technical issues with our clock right now. Trying to get everything reset. Shot clock at 13, and fouled on the jumper was Nagua. And that sends her back to the free throw line for 2 attempts. Miami Hamilton's done a nice job of getting themselves to the line in this first quarter. 4th team foul against Tech, and the first on Avery Collins. That'll bring Gabby Ritchie in for Tech. Nagua, first free throw, rolls out. One for 2 at the line for Nagua. And a 6-point game as the Harriers continue to really use their limited depth well. Everybody seeing action in this first quarter. A good set of really substitutions for their coaching staff as Moorer missed the jumper. Goalie offensive rebound. Moorer got back inside, lays it through. Offensive rebounds for Jaden Goalie. They are a killer for the other team. Ritchie commits the foul, and an and one for Miami. And Nyjah Olabamero to the line for an and one opportunity. Off the mark on the and one free throw. Couple opportunities left at the line for Miami. Ritchie, she loves to fire from three-point land. Just missed that. Offensive rebound, though, for goalie. Doing her job. Feels like she's cleaning up everything on the offensive glass right now. Moving bodies. Covington lost her dribble. Shot clock at 5. Goalie, and a reach-in foul on the Harriers. Kirsten Cross called for her first. That turned the shot clock off. 17.3 remaining in the first Cross comes out, Shackelford returns. Three ball, good for Ritchie. A little bit surprised Indiana Tech didn't want to hang on for the final shot of the quarter. 3 seconds and 2, goalie creates the steal, and that is how the first quarter comes to a close. A little bit slow out of the gates for both teams, but what else do you expect from a season opener? We're back to the Schaefer Center in 1 minute for second quarter action.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Ten minutes on the clock as we get ready for second quarter action from the Schaefer Center, live SummitCitySports.com and on the Indiana Tech Warrior YouTube channel. Flip the possession arrow as Tech starts the second with the ball. 3 offensive rebounds for Jaden Goley in that first quarter. 4 rebounds in total for Goley, and Taylor Covington, along with Barry Nagua, leading all scorers with 7 points in the first quarter. Covington dumps down to Goley. Good move, and Goley the lay-in off the window. Goley trying to force a turnover. It's out of bounds. Stays with the Harriers. This is one of those moments, if you are Miami Hamilton, when you start to be a little bit more worried if Indiana Tech's going to bring that pressure in the full court. Defense, defense, defense. That's what Coach Biggs is really known for with this Warriors team, and they've created a great defensive presence in those 20-plus win seasons that they continue to have. You're going to have nights when you don't shoot the ball well. You've got to play well defensively. Mora rejects this. Tried to float it ahead. 5-on-4 at the moment. Weiss is open. She fires. Left it short. Good look, though, for Indiana Tech. And Goley trying to create another turnover on this side. She's been all over the floor. One of those players that you know coaches just love because all she does is give extra effort. Sometimes it's the little things, those little plays that make the biggest difference in the game, and Goley is always willing to put in the extra effort. Benson lost it, stays on this side of the floor with 10 on the shot clock. So the 2 freshmen for Miami Hamilton, number 11 and number 31 on the floor. Shackelford's on the bench currently. And go deep on the inbound to Pewitt. Tries to dump in, and Covington was there to knock it away. Worked around the arc. Moorer slings it inside. Covington passes out. Chaotic first 15 seconds of the shot clock. Moorer open. Covington finds her. Assist for Covington. She was maybe a hair late to see her underneath, but still slings that ball inside to get it to her. I like the defensive stance from Thomas here. And got a piece of that ball on the way up. Shot clock down to 5. Won't matter. Ola Bomero able to lay it through. .11 Indiana Tech lead. Moore to Thomas. Mid-range game, and she sinks it. And despite it being an 11 a.m. game, pretty good crowd on hand. You've got the kids section on the left, but as we pan to our right, you can see that the adults have really filled up the rest of this gymnasium. And there's Vice with her first 3 in a Warrior uniform. I think it's probably nice for her family to know that home games are going to be a little bit more attainable to get to every night. The Central Noble grad and those great years at Central Noble in the girls basketball program. This is knocked out of bounds, stays with Miami. Hamilton, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Spradlin back on for Miami. Cruz and Collins return for Indiana Tech. Agua with the inbound. Shot clock to 6. Pewitt trying to bully on the inside and just didn't have the right angle. Rather, that was Cross going up against Golick. Moore cuts inside off the window for 2 more, and Indiana Tech has found its rhythm on offense. Cross went to pass it back. She'll get it herself. Ends up essentially passing the ball to herself there. Nagua into the corner. 3 ball is offline. That was a missed opportunity for Benson. And this is where the lack of depth could come to bite Miami a little bit as you continue into this game, and it's game number 1 and everybody's trying to get their legs underneath them in this opener. Jade Carnahan is in for the first time. Work the ball right. Cruz 3, too strong. Moore collects. Shot clock at 3. Got to get it away. Collins. And she was just late letting that one go as the shot clock was ready to expire. And eventually did expire. Remember, at the under 5, we'll take a media timeout. Approaching that here in the second quarter. Pull-up jumper, got to her spot. Did Nagua. Banks it through, and she's got 9 of the 15 points. Whistle, and foul on the basketball, or where the basketball was. Takes us to the media timeout. 31-15 in favor of Indiana Tech. Number 17 opening up the new season.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
31-15, Indiana Tech with the lead over Miami Hamilton. We're live on the Warrior YouTube channel. Number 17, Indiana Tech with the basketball underneath, the shot clock at 20. As we come out of the timeout, Covington, Cruz, Ritchie. This is Ritchie for three and off the mark. On the floor with Carnahan, and a whistle and a push on that rebounding opportunity. Nagua called for her first personal, and team foul number 2. Zone look defensively. Indiana Tech trying to exploit it. Ritchie, long range, splashes it through. $19-point Indiana Tech lead. Takeaway. Ritchie fires again. Just a little bit too strong. Cruz underneath for the O board. I missed that putback opportunity. Nagua with the basketball. She's been the focal point offensively. Drives in the lane, got rejected by Carnahan. Goalie for Cruz, extra pass, Carnahan right there. And the lead extends to over 20 for the first time tonight, or today I should say, 11:30 in the morning. High arcing three, just off the iron. Carnahan, jumper, good. Back-to-back buckets for Carnahan. Shot clock to 10. Nagua, 15-foot jumper, perfectly executed as she goes off the window. And Nagua's into double figures. Covington gave up the look, off for a Ritchie three. Buries another. You sit in that zone, and Indiana Tech has just moved the ball around the arc. Wing to wing, top of the key, and finding an open look from the outside. Covington probably could have pulled it, gave it to Ritchie instead. That bounce pass right into the arms of goalie. Ritchie, another transition opportunity. This three rolls off the iron. Final 2 minutes of the first half as Indiana Tech has extended this lead in the late stages of the second quarter. And a reach-in foul here. Nagua has 11 of the 17 points. Warriors are on a 17-4 run over the last 6 minutes. Moorer with two more. And Indiana Tech 43-17 advantage. Benson stopped in the lane, fades away, and is going to be whistled for a travel. Warriors trying to close out this first half in emphatic fashion. Underneath, Moorer, too easy. And the lead is up to 28. 7-0 run over the last minute 45. Nagua coming inside, a lot of contact, but stayed straight up defensively. Jump ball should keep possession here. .17 on the shot clock. Cross back on for the Harriers. And Ola Bomero will come back into your screen. I'm going to reset the shot clock to 20. Hewitt inbounding. Benson has it stripped away. Thomas all alone on the other side, sets her feet, hits the lay-in, and it's a 30-point lead for Indiana Tech. Shot clock turned off for the final 20 seconds of the first half. Threes off the mark from Hewitt, and that's how the first half comes to a close. Indiana Tech dominant in that second quarter. Warriors outscore Miami 27-6 in the second quarter of action, and it is a 30-point lead at the break for Indiana Tech over Miami Hamilton. We'll come back after this halftime pause. We'll have your first half stats coming up in about 6.5 minutes after this break as we take you around the campus at Indiana Tech in just a moment. Really impressive first half, though, for some of the returners and some of the new faces. We'll take you through the numbers after this break. Warriors leading Miami Hamilton 47-17 at the half.
It's really important for freshmen to realize you get out of college what you put into it. If you dedicate yourself to your classes and to your projects and to what you're doing in college, you're going to have a really great experience here.
I wish someone would have told me my freshman year that it's important to prioritize, knowing what's important, what's not important, knowing what I need to do opposed to what I want to do.
The two things that I think all freshmen should know is buy a parking permit so you don't rack up a bunch of fines and tickets, and also make sure you go to class, because it seems like a good idea when you're skipping, but then it's not worth it in the end when you fail the test or don't turn in homework.
As an international student, my advice for the freshmen is to not be afraid to make friends, because your friends here will end up being your family away from home.
Anything that you want to do, anything that you want to put on, anything that you want to showcase on campus, you can. There's always people around to help you do what you want to do here.
Make sure that you always take time for yourself to make sure that you're okay, because college can be very overwhelming. as far as like schoolwork and friends and sports and just like everyday life. Always just make sure that you get what you need to get done.
It's important to have a relationship with your professors because you become more personable with them. You start to engage in the material more. They can give you recommendations, especially once you get out of college. You definitely want to put them down as like references. And if you have a better personal relationship, it just makes the whole learning experience go smoothly.
(47-17) at the halftime break. Do apologize, having some technical difficulties running one of our ads, so we'll take you through the numbers right now as the Indiana Tech dance team is on the floor currently. Halftime numbers for Indiana Tech. Warriors, 20 points in the first quarter, 27 points in the second quarter, shooting 50% from the field and 5 for 15 from three-point range. That's 33%. Indiana Tech did not go to the free throw line in the first half of play, but the Warriors had 10 offensive rebounds and out-rebounded Miami by 8 total boards in that first half. 10 points for Ryan Moorer in her debut for Indiana Tech. Gabby Ritchie with 9 points on 3 of 7 shooting from the outside. 7 points for Taylor Covington, 6 points for both Thomas and Gully. Weiss with 3, Carnahan has 4, and 2 points for Collins in that first half of action. Nagua on the other side with 11 of the 17 for Miami. Hamilton, 4 points for Ola Bamero, and then the other 2 points belong to Spradlin for Miami. Hamilton, who shot 44% from the field in the opening quarter, but just 25% from the floor in the second quarter, 33% from the game, 0 for 3 from three-point range, and 3 of 6 at the free throw line for Miami. Hamilton in the opening 20 minutes of the season. Indiana Tech plus 14 in points in the paint in that first half, and they were plus 13 in bench points in the first half as well. They have forced 15 turnovers by Miami and have been relatively clean in the turnover department as well. Just 3 turnovers in the first half for Indiana Tech. 47-17, the halftime lead for the Warriors. Let's try now to take you around the campus here in Fort Wayne.
Hi, I'm Paxton, and I'll be your tour guide today. Behind me, we have Pearson Hall. This is one of our freshman dorms on campus. Today, I'll be showing you dorm rooms. Come inside. The only way to get into campus is if you have an ID card, so you'll have to swipe into all the dorms. And then over here, we have an intercom system. So through every dorm, we have these dial buttons within the dorm rooms and then outside. So say you're visiting somebody, you don't live here, you would dial their room number, and then you can actually call their room, and they can unlock the doors to the dorm through the intercom system, and you can talk to them. They can see you through a camera, and they can unlock the doors for you so they don't have to leave the room. It's really nice to have. So right here, we just have our main lobby. Every floor has a lobby. In the lobbies, we just have TVs and stuff. You can watch movies, play video games. You can hang out with friends, do homework, play card games. It's just a nice little hangout area to have. And then right here, this is what we call our RA office. So every single night, there will be an RA in the office. They're just there for your needs if you have any issues with toilets or sinks or anything being clogged. They'll always be in there for your help. If you have questions about anything, you can always come see an RA here. And then over here, we have mailboxes. Every student has a mailbox. They are really small. The only thing they can fit is card-sized items. Throughout campus, you'll see our mailroom when you go on your actual tour later on, and that will be in one of our other buildings where you'll receive bigger packages. All right, so here's the laundry room. So in the laundry room, you don't have to save quarters or use quarters. I know it says 25 cents, but it is included with living on campus. And then there's one on every floor and every side of the floor, so there's 2 on every floor in Pearson. So every student has keys to their dorm. And then as you come in, you will see our intercom system right here that I talked about in the entranceway. So this is where you would unlock the door for visitors, talk to them. And then one really nice thing about it is there is a security guard button right there. So if you were to have somebody like calling your room constantly at like 5 o'clock in the morning because some student forgot their keys, you could actually press the security guard button and it will lock them in that little box that we entered to into the dorm. It'll lock both the outside doors and the inside doors and call security. So it also has a nice safety measure within your room. You don't even have to leave your room for that. So that's really nice. And then as we enter in this way, you'll see this is the half of our room looks like. So there's this, and then on the other side of the suite, there's a mirrored room that looks exactly like this. The desk, the dressers, and the closets, and all of the drawers and stuff all come with. You can decorate it any way you'd like, and then like mini fridges, TVs, anything like that you would bring here. And then through here we have our bathroom. So then as we come into the bathroom, you'll see that this side of the room has their own sink and toilet, and then as you come through, there's one shower shared between the two rooms. And then this side of the room has their own sink and toilet. And then there's the mirrored room right here. So then they share a little common space out there. And then this is the exact same stuff. And it's all the same. Here we have Kalbflesh. This is our other freshman dorm on campus. It is across the street from main campus. We'll be showing another freshman dorm, the laundry room, and then the hangout lobby area. Come on in. So same thing as Pearson. To get into the dorms, you have to have a swipe card that unlocks and lets you in. All right, and then we have the same intercom system as we do in Pearson, and it runs throughout all of the dorms. And then in here is the lobby area where all the students hang out. We have like a TV so people can hook up like Xboxes or anything like that, DVD players, you can watch movies. I know RA's put on a bunch of activities down here. They do like movie nights with hot chocolate during the winter. We've done like pumpkin carving and we watch a Halloween movie, and so that's all done down here. And then it's the same thing over here. You can do some studying, you can hang out with friends, you can eat dinner if you want, and like I said, you can hang out with your RA, hang out with your friends, do homework, but follow me to the next part. So same thing as Pearson, every student has keys to their dorm. So when you first walk in, it's different than Pearson where there's no like two mirrored room. It's just one room with two students. The shelves, the desk, the drawers, all of the beds and stuff all come with. And then over here, it's the same for Pearson and Kalbflesh. You can control the air condition and the heat for the room, not the entire dorm, which is so nice because then it's between you and your roommate, not through hundreds of people in one building. And then as we walk over here, you'll see that the sink is outside of the bathroom, which is so nice because obviously if your roommate's showering, you don't have to worry about not being able to brush your teeth or even use the sink or get a drink of water or anything like that. And then as we walk over here, you'll see only two roommates to one bathroom. And then the shelving space. And then instead of Pearson where they have closets, you would have this whole shelving space and hanger area. And then same thing as Pearson, we have the intercom system over here where you can press the security guard button, you can talk to them, and then see them through the camera. Kalbflesh also has mailboxes. They're the same size. They fit card-sized items. And again, if you have any bigger packages, we do have a mailroom on campus. So then through here, this is the laundry room. The difference between Pearson and Kalbflesh is Kalbflesh, there's only one in the whole building and it's on the first floor, whereas Pearson has them on every floor. But it is the same as they are included with living here, so you don't have to use quarters. It's free to the students. And that concludes the tour. Thanks for coming with. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to your counselor. Hope to see you around campus. Go Warriors!
Halftime break at the Schaefer Center. Number 17, Indiana Tech with a 47-17 lead over Miami Hamilton. Let's run through the numbers once again from that first half of action. And just in case you missed it, last night the Indiana Tech Warrior men's basketball team opened up their season with a victory over IU Northwest to begin the 25-26 campaign for head coach Ted Albert and his group. Number 21, Indiana Tech defeating IU Northwest 83-74, the final score. The men will be on the road, Grand Rapids, Michigan this weekend for the WAC Crossroads League Challenge. They'll take on Receiving Votes Spring Arbor on Friday, and then number 6 Indiana Wesleyan on Saturday. For women's basketball, Indiana Tech will be at Huntington next Wednesday, 7 p.m. tip-off from Platt Arena. And then Tuesday, November 11th, back at home against number 10 IWU for a 6 p.m. scheduled tip-off. 10 points for Ryan Moore to lead the scoring for Indiana Tech. And on the other side, Barry Nagua leading all scorers with 11 first-half points. She scored 11 of the 17 for Miami Hamilton in that first 20 minutes of action. Miami Hamilton coming up. They will play Georgetown on the road on Friday, so a quick turnaround for them. And then in the Penn State Beaver Tip-Off Classic, Saturday and Sunday, November 8th and 9th, before finally a home game for Miami against Hocking College on November 12th. That is a Wednesday night with a 5:30 scheduled tip-off time. We're about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. We'll come back with second half action after this break. Indiana Tech Warriors women's basketball in the season opener, second half, right after this.
It's really important for freshmen to realize you get out of college what you put into it. If you dedicate yourself to your classes and to your projects and to what you're doing in college, you're going to have a really great experience here.
I wish someone would have told me my freshman year that it's important to prioritize, knowing what's important, what's not important, knowing what I need to do opposed to what I want to do.
The two things that I think all freshmen should know is buy a parking permit so you don't rack up a bunch of fines and tickets, and also make sure you go to class, because it seems like a good idea when you're skipping, but then it's not worth it in the end when you fail the test or don't turn in homework.
As an international student, my advice for the freshmen is to not be afraid to make friends, because your friends here will end up being your family away from home.
Anything that you want to do, anything that you want to put on, anything that you want to showcase on campus, you can. There's always people around to help you do what you want to do here.
Make sure that you always take time for yourself to make sure that you're okay, because college can be very overwhelming as far as like schoolwork and friends and sports and just like everyday life. Always just make sure that you get what you need to get done.
It's important to have a relationship with your professors, because you become more personable with them. You start to engage in the material more. They can give you recommendations, especially once you get out of college. You definitely want to put them down as like references. And if you have a better personal relationship, it just makes the whole learning experience go smoothly.
Ready to begin the second half of action from the Schaefer Center, just on the edge of downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana. Jaron Matheny, glad you're with us. Matt Jackson on our camera here today. It is Kids Day at Indiana Tech. Far side of the floor on the left side of your screen, where all the kids are situated. Just had lunch and now getting ready to cheer on the Warriors in the second half, although some of them still eating their lunch as of right now, so we'll see how quickly they get tuned in to the basketball again for this second half. It is a 30-point halftime advantage for Indiana Tech, and the second half is underway now. Starting five on the floor for Tech. Covington pass to goalie down the left lane line, went out of bounds, last touched by the Warriors. And Miami Hamilton, again, just 8 players on the roster for the Harriers. So it is a challenge for first-year head coach Danielle Rowe, how she uses the players when they come in, what the substitutions look like, trying to keep legs as fresh as possible, especially in a season opener. Nagua gets inside. She's been the leading scorer for Miami Hamilton and continues to work the ball inside. This pass deflected out of bounds, and may have been better just to let that one go if you're Pewitt. She had the opportunity maybe to take it the other way for an easy lay-in, but that ball just was off the mark and not what Indiana Tech was looking for there. Moorer, patient, fouled, and headed to the line for 2 attempts. First free throw is in for Moorer. Nagua called for personal foul number 2 as Moorer hits both free throws. Leading scorer right now for Indiana Tech with 12 points. Ola Bomero. And dribbled it off of Weiss, goes out of bounds, stays with the Harriers. Ola Bomero's pass was into the middle and just a lot of white jerseys there. Moorer, coast to coast, fouled and one. Ryan Moorer going to the line and trying to extend this lead to its largest so far today. 32 points currently. And one free throw pops out for Moorer. Ola Bomero, a lot of defensive traffic for Indiana Tech, walled off by Moorer, and she creates the turnover. Pass up ahead for Covington, has to go corral it, and then pass is batted out of bounds. Stays on this side for Tech. Substitution. Spradlin in for Miami Hamilton. Covington inbound to goalie. Moorer fades, hits, and she's on fire right now for Indiana Tech. A really good addition for this Warriors team. A lot of dribbling from Benson, nearly lost the basketball, and in fact she does. Numbers up the floor, Thomas off to Covington, lay-in's good. Timeout. And right now, Indiana Tech in control, 55-19. And it looks like we're not taking an official timeout here. Whistle blew, but we're just going to continue action. So instead of taking a timeout, we are back to live action here. Usually you hear the horn sound after just a made lay-in. That means we're going to a break. That's not the case there. That ball knocked out of bounds. Would have been early for the media timeout anyway, but Hewitt inbounding for the Harriers. Nagua kicks out, extra pass to the corner. Spradling drives inside, draws the contact, and is headed to the line for 2. Thomas whistled for her second, and the first personal foul of the third quarter. Spradlin off the mark on the first of 2. Well, Miami Hamilton last year in this building held to just 44 points offensively. Covington, left elbow, jump shot. Straight through the twine. The nice thing to see if you're an Indiana Tech fan is it's not been all Covington offensively today. A lot of help, a lot of different people scoring. Balance, the key for Indiana Tech this season as that lay-in falls through to make it a 35-point lead for the Warriors. But You've just got to be able to go to somebody else. And Moorer's been one of those main focal points offensively. She's got 2 more. Moorer up to 18 points, 8 for 10 from the floor. Now leads all scorers in this game. Nagua with a bounce pass. Hewitt looking for help, and Covington, good defense, kept her hands in the lane. Pass ahead to goalie. Extra touch, Thomas for Moorer. 2 more. Moorer with 20 points in her Tech debut. Nagua, and a whistle underneath. I don't think Coach Biggs is going to be too pleased with that foul call. Jacqueline Cruz on for Indiana Tech. Moorer last season at Concordia averaged just under 10 points per game, 41% from the floor. Her 20 points today tie her career high, which she did and scored 20 against Lourdes late last season. The men's side, Jackson Fugate last night with a new career high. And now Moorer looking for hers. She's fouled and will hit the line to try and get a new career high. Ola Bomero whistled for the personal. Moorer with 2 free throws, 3 team fouls on Miami, 2 on Indiana Tech in this second quarter. And we'll have that media timeout coming up at the under 5. New career high for Ryan Moorer as she is up to 21 points in her Tech debut. (62-24) the lead for Indiana Tech. Nagua, and a travel called after the help defense. Taj Hewitt back in. And Miami Hamilton's got 6 players on the floor right now as Nagua exits. Covington. Gave up to Collins. Now Cruz. Lovelace also in the game. Collins tried to wrap around a pass. It was knocked out of bounds exactly at the 5-minute mark here in venue. So with 9 on the shot clock, we will not take the media break yet. Nagua took about 20 seconds on the bench, and she's right back in. Covington off the inbound, gets it back, missed the corner 3, but an offensive rebound for goalie. Covington lines up another off the iron, and we're going to have an over-the-back foul underneath against the Harriers. And that will take us to the media timeout. 4:46 to play, third quarter. 62-24, Warriors in front.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
You have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Pair of free throws coming up for Indiana Tech, although this ball may actually be coming inbounded underneath for the Warriors. They have not hit the foul mark yet. Just the fourth team foul on Miami Hamilton. My apologies. Covington inbounding underneath the cup. Got it into Cruz, and a jump ball. The arrow favors the Harriers. More than midway through the third quarter. And this is quickly turned in favor of Indiana Tech after a very competitive opening quarter of action. Covington with a baseball pass down the floor. Goalie just attacks the rim and lays it through. And this is the largest lead of the day for Indiana Tech, up to 40. Olabamero, midway through the shot clock. Top of the key for Cross, handing off. This is Nagua, a lot of white jerseys around her. Looking for some help, and a timeout taken instead by Miami. Will be a 30-second timeout more than likely, so we'll keep it right here. It is a 30-second timeout. So 64-24. Miami Hamilton for the game, shooting 37.5% from the field. Still 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, 6 of 10 at the free throw line. Indiana Tech as a unit, 55% from the floor, 29% from 3. 3 of 5 at the line. Jaden Goalie, 8 points, 9 rebounds for Indiana Tech. And Goalie, 4 of those offensive rebounds. 21 points for Ryan Moore, our new career high. 11 points for Taylor Covington to go along with 8 assists so far tonight. Today, I should say. Miami Hamilton's been held scoreless over the last 2 minutes. Shot clock at 2. Out of the timeout. Magua, and we'll have a shot clock violation. Good bounce pass, Collins to Moorer, too easy that time, and a perfect feed from 23 and White. Avery Collins with a bounce pass. That was a beauty. Magua dribbling. Collins applying the defensive pressure. Olabamero. Pass inside and a reach-in foul on Lovelace on that entry. Kenya Benson back on for the Harriers. Lovelace second. Team foul number 3 in the quarter. Hewitt to inbound. Magua backing up. Got into the stomach of Collins, it looked like there, and a little bit uncomfortable for Collins as she backed away. Collins, 3-ball. In and out. And the final 3-minute stretch of the third quarter as Indiana Tech with a bulk of subs coming, and a foul running through the charge of Pewitt. Lovelace called for it. It's the 4th team foul, and a line change for Indiana Tech. 4 new players in. Thomas, goalie, Covington, as well as Carnahan, now all in. They'll try to go on the entry to cross, and it's taken away by goalie. Covington sends it to the other side. Ritchie passed up the 3 for an open look for Thomas. Right opportunity there. Goalie trying to save it with an offensive rebound. Good extra effort. There it is again from Jaden Goalie. Pewitt, 3 off the iron. Thomas ahead. Goalie not known for her outside shooting. Midway through the shot clock, Covington. And now Ritchie open from distance. 4 for 8 from downtown for Gabby Ritchie. She's up to 12 points. And Indiana Tech back up by 43. And now the kids are getting louder all of a sudden again. That lunch is settling in. Fadeaway doesn't fall for Cross. Covington, patient, zigzags through the lane and lays it off the window. Largest lead of the day for Indiana Tech. And you gotta feel like for the most part, this final minute 15 is gonna be the home stretch for the starters, at least for Indiana Tech, you kind of assume. Ola Bomero fouled on the putback. That is the 5th team foul. Going to be free throws anyway, but team foul number 5. Covington called for her first. And it is Nyjah Ola Bomero at the line with 2 free throws. Moorer comes in, Carnahan out. First free throw down for Ola Bomero. Now has 5 points. Nagua with 19 of the 28 points for Miami Hamilton. Thomas inside the left elbow, jump shots out. Final minute from the Schaefer Center in the third. And another whistle for a foul against Indiana Tech. And this puts Nagua at the line for 2. Spradlin at the scorer's table, but is looking to check in for the shooter. Miami 8 of 13 at the line as a team, make them 8 of 14 off that missed free throw. 0 for 2 on that trip. Sling it inside, more extra pass right on cue for Jaden Goalie. About a 5-second difference between shot and game clock. Ola Bomero nearly had it jarred free. Jump ball And the arrow favoring Indiana Tech. Final 15 seconds of the third quarter. Indiana Tech, 73 points. Covington missed the lay-in, and that is how the third quarter comes to a close. But after a very competitive opening quarter, Indiana Tech has opened things up. 27 points in the second, 26 points in the third. They outscore Miami Hamilton by 15 in that third quarter, and the lead is up to 45.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Final 10 minutes from the Schaefer Center on this Wednesday afternoon. And Indiana Tech with a 45-point advantage. Leave some of those starters out there at least to begin the fourth quarter. The local elementary school just getting announced here and making some noise. One of the things about Kids Day is, yes, you're going to get a lot of noise usually. Sometimes the noise isn't always at the most appropriate time in the game, but you're going to get the noise, that's for sure. Ritchie missed the three-pointer as Indiana Tech turned to the bench on the next whistle for subs to the scorers table for the Warriors here. And Miami Hamilton with the lay-in. That goes for Kenya Benson as she gets herself in the stat sheet in the point column. Ritchie outside, drains the three. Gabby Ritchie, if she can hit that shot consistently this season for Indiana Tech, the Warriors are going to be a very tough team to beat. Everybody trying to play their role, knowing their role. And Ritchie's certainly, in a sense, is going to be that outside shooting. Cross gave it up. Olabamero. Shot clock to 5. Cross against goalie. Extra help from Covington, but Cross puts it high off the glass for 2. And we've got a timeout just for a rolling substitution here for Indiana Tech. And despite the fact trying to do a rolling substitution, they're going to take the media timeout right now. 8:22 to play in the fourth quarter. And Indiana Tech closing in on win number 1.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
(76-32). Coach Biggs was trying to do a rolling substitution there and just not take a full timeout, get players in without taking the break. But because that was our first whistle in the fourth quarter for a timeout, they decided to take the media break with it. So even though that was probably going to be a 30-second pause, in theory, a 30-second timeout, because it was the first timeout taken of the quarter, they went to the media break. Just one of those rules that the officials followed correctly in this scenario. And now we shouldn't see a break the remainder of this game. Back on the floor, 5 new faces into the game for Indiana Tech, including Maddie Mueller, who was just fouled there. Cruz, Collins, Mueller, Lovelace, and Carnahan are the 5 on the floor for Indiana Tech. Mueller at the line, good on the first of 2 free throws. Indiana Tech, not a lot of free throws today, 4 of 6 at the line. Move this ball up slightly before the inbound. Second unit, Mueller firing from deep. Had the open look as Miami's gone to a zone defensively here in the fourth quarter. Shackelford. And a reach-in foul on Indiana Tech. Team foul number 1. Ava Smith, redshirt sophomore from Woodburn, checks in as Lovelace goes to the bench. Hewitt looking for some help on this inbound and had to throw it into some heavy traffic, and right away there's Smith in on the action. Jump ball, and the arrow favors Indiana Tech. Whistle and a foul on the Harriers. Team foul number 2 in the fourth. Hewitt called for the personal. That's just her first. And now a substitution as Nagua will come back in. Final 7 minutes today from the Schaefer Center. Warriors back in action 1 week from today at Huntington. A little bit staggered schedule to begin things this season. Shot clock to 5. Kick out. 3 ball. Carnahan just out. Rebound tap to Hewitt. Nagua passed it out to the top of the key. Benson midway through the shot clock. Go in to Cross. She'll drive inside. Nearly poked free by Smith, and we've got a late whistle. And 2 free throws upcoming. More changes. And for the first time in her career, Sydney Kessler, the freshman from Butler, and Eastside High School graduate, is in. Gabby Ritchie also returns to the lineup. First free throw is out for Cross. Cross 1 for 2. .45 advantage still for Tech. Trying to extend it. There is Kessler. First shot for the freshman is pure. She did a lot of that at Eastside. It really light up the scoreboard for the Blazers, who made a deep run in 2A in Indiana high school girls basketball last year. Cross jumper. Missed it, and this goes out of bounds, last touched by the Harriers. So how about that? Your first look in your collegiate career comes from the left wing, and pretty deep at that for Kessler. She puts it right through. Spradlin and Olabamero back in. Two-three zone defensively for Miami. Got inside at Indiana Tech. And now Ava Smith headed to the charity stripe for free throws. Shackelford right back in. Smith gets herself in the point column. More than 10 players have scored in this game for Indiana Tech. Benson, 3 ball, goes off and out. Smith defensive board. Ritchie running this offense from a point guard standpoint in the second unit, maybe even third unit technically. Ball on the floor, jump ball, and the arrow gives it to the Harriers. Spradlin back on for Miami. Miami with the ball from the arrow as we're inside the final 5 in this fourth quarter. A lot of new faces on the floor for Indiana Tech this season, but especially from the starting lineup perspective, got the job done today. Tried to kick out. Ritchie's there with a takeaway. Pushes the floor herself. Full steam ahead. Missed the lay-in. And a foul underneath off the offensive rebound for Carnahan. And with that whistle, we will take another media timeout. 4:12 to play in the fourth quarter. All Indiana Tech Warriors getting ready to put the first W in the win column this season.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
4:14 on the clock, 82-35. Number 17, Indiana Tech leading Miami Hamilton. As we welcome you back here, Indiana Tech Warriors on YouTube. Glad you're with us. You can catch all the action this season here on the Warrior YouTube channel for all home games. Streamed free on YouTube, just like last season. Kick across, open, Mueller's threes out. Smith offensive rebound and makes the stick back. One more change for Indiana Tech as that shot goes off the mark on the outside, but an offensive rebound for Miami. Three doesn't go. It's number 12 in the game for the Warriors. Don't have a 12 on the roster sheet, but I believe Cooper Stone is wearing 12 instead of 44 tonight. Fifth team foul puts Indiana Tech into the bonus. Kessler shooting a pair of free throws. Cross back in for Miami. Kessler connects on the first of two. And 50 points is the largest lead of the day for Indiana Tech. And now make it 51. Still, Barry Nagua, 21 points for Miami. And you feel like when they are playing in their conference, so to speak, against teams that aren't NAIA teams but are actually in the USCAA, that she's going to be one of the major players to watch when it comes to their official regular season beginning. Mueller with a lay-in off the assist from Kessler, and we're down inside the final 3 minutes. Timeout for the Harriers. It is a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it right here. Again, Indiana Tech women's basketball team on the road next Wednesday at Huntington. And then they'll be back home the following Saturday against IWU, or the following Saturday after that is actually against St. Francis. It's Tuesday, November 11th for that matchup against number 10 Indiana Wesleyan. So you got the game today, 6 days off basically, 7 days off. You play next Wednesday night at Huntington. Then the following Tuesday against IWU, and then the schedule starts to pick up from there, and we see the Wednesday, Saturday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday matchups for Indiana Tech. Still have a non-conference game with Huntington, Indiana Wesleyan, and St. Francis out of the Crossroads League, and then they'll play Oakland City University on the road December 17th. And those are the non-conference games for this year. As Indiana Tech will look to control the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference this season, as they have done pretty much every year over the last 7 to 10. They just have been the mainstay in the WAC. Back-to-back whistles in the span of 5 seconds. And this is the point in time you'll see some people in the crowd start to get a little frustrated, and of course Coach Biggs will be frustrated with the fouls, but some of this too, whistles late in a game that has been decided already. And there's another one. 3 whistles in the span of about 10 seconds send Benson to the line for 2 free throws, and in the process, both teams are now in the double bonus. Benson good on the first of 2. Couple of subs waiting at the scorer's table for Miami. Check in now. Getting a little while to go for Harrier fans before you can see your team on the home floor. That'll be against Hocking. A Wednesday night tip-off in a couple of weeks. Mueller, bounce pass to Smith, left it short, trying to lay it through. One more sub to the scorer's table for Indiana Tech. Ball up the floor, Smith stops and lost it out of bounds. This will bring in the senior transfer from Governor State, Annie Gilroy, out of Riverview, Michigan. Final 2 minutes from the Schaefer Center today on Kids Day. And what'll be an emphatic win number 1 in year 14 for head coach Jesse Biggs. 3 ball off the mark from Ola Bomero, but Shackelford is able to cut her way to the rim. Stone out up high, Mueller drives in, turns it out. Kessler lines up a 3, got it. She's too good to be left that open from distance. That shot is blocked by Smith. 3-on-1 the other way. Mueller, late dish off. Kessler left it short. Other side. Bounce pass across. Mueller running both ends of the floor, gets the turnover. Three doesn't fall. Knocked out of bounds and possession to Miami. More than likely going to be the final offensive possession of the day for the Harriers. We've gone inside the final 30 seconds. Benson, jumper was partially blocked. Good late effort from Shackelford. Rolls that through. And Indiana Tech across the timeline. Warriors will not take a shot. And that'll be all she wrote. And the kids louder than the horn. 91-41, your final score. Indiana Tech defeats Miami Hamilton. Warriors shoot 51% from the field, 9 of 28 from three-point range. Moorer leads the scoring with 23, Ritchie with 15, Covington at 13 with 8 assists. Jaden Goley notches a double-double, 10 points, on 5 of 5 shooting with 10 rebounds. Kessler finishes with 8 points in just 6 minutes played. And overall, Indiana Tech clearing out the bench in this one and getting a commanding 50-point win over Miami to start the season. Warriors will be on the road at Huntington next Wednesday for a 7 p.m. tip-off against the Foresters. That'll be at Platt Arena. And then at home Tuesday, November 11th against number 10 Indiana Wesleyan. They'll also be home for a doubleheader that weekend against St. Francis for women's and men's basketball. And there the ladies are thanking the kids for coming out today. And a good one to see. 50-point win for Indiana Tech. We will talk to you next time. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Warriors 1-0 with a 50-point season opening win.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.